Every day, property owners open their doors to visitors, contractors, and guests. It feels like a completely normal, routine arrival. Then, someone loses their footing, a slip on a wet stone, a trip over a root, and the visitor falls hard onto the concrete. Once the ambulance leaves, a property owner faces an immediate crisis. As this infographic shows, the incident triggers a lawsuit, activating a massive administrative machine. Attorneys and insurance step in, claims follow, and owners frantically restructure to protect personal and business assets. The problem stems from how we currently manage property access. We let people onto our land first, and then, if something goes wrong, we cross our fingers and rely on post-incident insurance. By the time you call your provider, the damage is already done. If you grant someone access to your property without any prior agreement, you are passively absorbing 100% of their legal liability. Simply by opening the door, the owner takes on the full weight of the risk. We can stop that legal threat before a visitor ever crosses the property line. The goal is to create a system that intercepts the visitor and shifts the risk back onto their own shoulders. We call this pre-entry liability infrastructure. It operates on a very simple, non-negotiable rule: no waiver, no entry. The legal protection is locked in before the physical access is granted. To enforce this rule, a digital platform called Waiver uses a physical checkpoint. At the boundary of the property, a simple sign prompts the visitor to scan a QR code to gain access. Looking at this mobile interface, you can see how frictionless this is for the user. In about 15 seconds, the visitor scans the code, signs a digital waiver on their phone, and immediately receives an entry-approved screen, complete with their unique gate code. This technological bridge solves the problem. It takes a highly vulnerable physical entry point and turns it into an active, impenetrable legal shield for the property owner. Those digital signatures are built to hold up in court. The platform ensures that every waiver is state-specific, drafted by attorneys, and completely enforceable in the exact jurisdiction where the property sits. The back-end infrastructure protects that signature with bank-level security. Every single interaction is automatically timestamped and securely stored, meaning nobody can claim they didn't understand what they were signing or when they signed it. This dashboard view shows how all that data is instantly organized. Property owners get complete, real-time visibility. They can track total entries, see exactly who is currently on the premises, and review the exact time and date of every approved access. By forcing legal compliance up front and creating an ironclad audit trail, you strip away the ambiguity that personal injury lawyers rely on. The threat of a reactive, frivolous lawsuit is neutralized before the visitor even steps out of their car. This exposure exists identically across every type of physical property. A trip and fall creates the same legal and financial headache for a small rental as it does for a commercial compound. This application grid highlights the diversity of the risk, from individual homeowners and short-term rentals to large-scale apartment communities, event venues, and active construction sites. They all share an identical vulnerability at the front door. Looking at this market breakdown, we can quantify the scale. There are millions of active job sites, 30 million HOA-managed homes, and millions of daily service visits occurring without standard protection. The sheer volume of unprotected entry points creates a massive, multi-billion-dollar addressable market. Liability exists anywhere people enter a property. Because the threat is universal, this solution functions as a horizontal layer of infrastructure for the entire real estate market. Owners who operate the old way live with the constant, quiet anxiety that one bad step could cost them their assets. When you implement verifiable, upfront legal protection, you replace that anxiety with genuine peace of mind. And the platform scales right alongside the owner's needs. This mobile interface demonstrates how users can go beyond basic entry protection. Within the app, they can purchase on-demand event insurance, selecting the date, duration, and headcount, and getting instant transactional coverage for specific risks. This intellectual property overview details the deep defensibility of the platform. 5 separate patents protect these core mechanics, establishing Waiver as a foundational layer of infrastructure for physical property. For decades, property owners have passively accepted the risks of anyone walking onto their land. The tools now exist to shift that risk back where it belongs. It is time for property owners to adopt pre-entry protection as their mandatory, uncompromising standard.